Listen, there's a screw right here.
Wow.
Surgery on my left wrist, surgery on my left knee, surgery on my left foot. Yeah, I have literally 3 surgeries all the way down.
Wow.
And it was like almost like every year I had to overcome something. And I realized, yo, Sheeta, you dumb resilient, because a lot of people would have quit.
I saw while I was in college, like, a lot of people who play college sports, they just stick to the sport and that's it. Like, they not in extracurricular activities. They not doing too much because, like, they just locked in with the sport.
That's the biggest mistake they could ever make. Life insurance, just like everything else, is a tool. For me, basketball was a tool. Life insurance is a tool. So age helps you with life insurance. Age kills you with car insurance. I'm gonna tell you something, and it's for everybody. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
All right, what's good, y'all? We are back again with another episode of the Young and Dumb Show. I'm super excited. I actually haven't recorded since before Thanksgiving, so this is like my first like episode back. So I'm excited, and also like Revolt just like officially dropped that like I was there on their page and everything like that. So like we back, we live, we about to have a great episode, and I want to really talk about my guests, right? Because I found you on Instagram. Well, you found me on Instagram.
We found each other.
Yeah. We found each other on Instagram. And I was looking at your page. I'm like, oh shoot, like this is my future self right here. Like, I really love your content. And I'm gonna try to do your voice. See, let me know if I get it. Right. So I'm sitting down right now with your favorite middle school math teacher, Rasheda. I think I got it almost.
You did me some justice right there.
All right.
I appreciate that.
But you gotta do it. You gotta do it before.
All right, so it's your favorite middle school math teacher, Rasheda.
Hey.
Here with Aaliyah, yo. We about to be on the Young and Dumb show, because
right.
I was young and dumb.
All right, so we gonna talk about it, right? So this is like different from your average podcast, right? Because yes, we want to talk about your journey, but we talking to Gen Z, right? And I think like you're gonna be perfect for this because you're in schools with like the young kids, so you already see it, you know the problems, you know the struggles, right? And like I'm in the schools with the kids too, so we got a lot.
We understand where we're going.
Exactly, we got a lot to talk about, right? So one, I want to talk about like your work, what you do, what does Rasheda 3 stand for? How did you get the name? Where did the rhythm come from? Like what are you about?
All right, so first of all, everybody, yes, my name is Rasheda 3 on IG, but everybody in my family, you know, if you're friends with me, you call me Rasheda, right? Mm-hmm. Short. So I'm a middle school math teacher. I've been teaching in Brooklyn for 8 years, man. Well, wow. Harlem for 2. Mm-hmm. Got up out of there. And Brooklyn for like 6. This is my 6, right? Mm-hmm. So I've been teaching. Honestly, my mom said I used to teach my dolls. I teach my cousins. I guess I was always in some way a teacher, but I actually started playing basketball when I was like 6.
Really? I played basketball. I'm telling you, we have a lot in common. Like I played basketball too.
I played ball my whole life, man. Like literally Harlem, Brooklyn tournaments, Rod Strickland tournaments. I got all the trophies.
You play AAU?
Yeah.
What team?
Exodus.
Wow, I played for Brooklyn Stars. Little years.
That's
like,
after me.
Yeah. But I know like the Gauchos.
Yeah, we used to play Gauchos. We used to stomp Gauchos.
Yes. Yes. Which was a guard?
Yeah, I'm a 2. They try to put me to the 1. I wasn't really.
You wasn't feeling it?
So I'm gonna be honest. Coming up, I had a dope point guard. I always had a dope point guard. One of my point guards, China. She actually ended up going to UVA, right?
Really? Okay.
Super. Like she was like Allen Iverson coming up.
Wow.
Like Rod Strickland. She was a young Rod Strickland when he was coming up. I always had a good point guard, so I never really had to play that role.
Yeah.
I could just be me, shoot the ball, pass, and be a role player. I was always a good role player. But I played ball since I was 6 years old. My mom told me when I was 12. She said one of my teammates, she was in a higher grade than me. She was in 16 and under. Keisha Stokes. She ended up signing to James Madison.
Wow.
This is when I realized, they'll pay for you to go to school? Bet. I told my mom, I said, Ma, you're not going to pay for college. So from then, I started putting in work.
Yeah.
Putting in work. I signed my scholarship to Marshall University on my 8th birthday.
Where's that?
Marshall's in West Virginia.
Okay.
I signed that on my 18th birthday.
Wow.
So literally on the day, because if I signed it the day before,
good birthday,
best birthday present ever.
Birthday.
Literally, if I would have signed it the day before, my mom would have to sign for me because I would have been 17.
Yep. But you was an adult now, so you had to do it on your own.
Pen, So I played ball. I played college ball for 4 years. I loved every step of it, and that actually got me in the door with a lot of the things that I do now, which I didn't even realize
Me too. We can talk about it. It's a lot of things you learn on that court, like skills, like mindset, teamwork, like a lot of things.
When I say like I learned how to overcome adversity by playing ball,
yeah.
My freshman year, I was good. Role player, figured it out. Was nervous as hell every single day. They used to bully me because I thought I was a bully, but I really was. They was the real bullies. I only had 1 year weight room in me. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to throw me around. But that year I was okay. My sophomore year, my junior year, it literally seemed like every time I overcame something, I would have another obstacle. I got listen. There's a screw right here. Wow. Surgery on my left wrist. Surgery on my left knee. Surgery on my left foot. Yeah, I have literally 3 surgeries all the way down. Wow. And it was like almost like every year I had to overcome something. And I realized, yo, Sheeta, you dumb resilient, because a lot of people would have quit.
Yeah. And you were still like trying to play basketball.
Yeah.
Wow.
I finished out. And I finished out my junior year as a captain, senior year as a captain.
Wow. Wow.
And I mean, at one point, I'm like, damn, I ain't never had an injury since I got to college. I used to play, you playing AAU, playing 6 games a day. My body was indestructible. Nah. College showed me a whole nother
So what do you think that college did that, like, made you, have those injuries?
I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm playing faster or I'm playing stronger. Some of the injuries happen, and to be honest, I would honestly say that if I wasn't as strong as I was, it would have been worse. One of my landings, me and my teammate collided in the air, and I just so happened to land on one of my feet, and my leg went back. If my leg wasn't as strong, yes, trust me, can I get an ouch? Ouch. If I wasn't in that weight room all summer, my bench press, not my bench, but my squat at that point was like 305.
Wow.
If my leg wasn't as strong as it was, I would have torn my knee up. Yeah. But I just hyperextended it. So instead of me being out for 9 months, I was out for 2.5.
Wow.
Now,
that's fast.
That's still time, but it could have been, like, when they saw the tape, they said it could have been worse. Like, good thing your leg was strong. So that's why sometimes I relate basketball to life, because I'm like, yo, if I didn't prepare, this injury could have really took me out. And sometimes we feel like, oh, well, I done did all of this and then this happened. But it's like sometimes you're preparing for that storm. Yeah. And that was that injury.
Yeah. So, like, when did the pivot shift? Like, when did you stop playing basketball?
All right. So after our last conference game, we lost. I was tight. We lost by like 1 at the buzzer. I was pissed. I cried. I cried like a baby. Yeah. And on top of that, my mom had missed the game because Obama had held up D.C. airport. I ain't like Obama for like a month. Because I was looking for my mom. Like, where my mom at? My mama came in like, baby, I'm here. I'm a mama's girl, really bad. And after that, I kind of like, I took some time off from basketball, about a month. I didn't play. I didn't go to the gym, nothing. And my body just started to feel normal again. Because, you wake up, you just feel old. Yeah. I started feeling normal. And my coach came to me. She said, what you want to do? You want to work out to train, or you good? And I was like, honestly, I did what I came to do. Yeah.
And this is your 4th year of college.
Yeah, this is at the end.
Yeah.
I did everything. Like, I'm graduating. It's not like I got my degree 100%.
What were you studying?
Speech sciences. So I wanted to be a speech pathologist.
Wow.
Speech therapist, speech pathologist.
You was telling me about that. I feel like my cousin was telling me that's like helping people with like speech.
Yeah, so you can work in a lot of different areas with speech. You can work in a school, a speech therapist taking kids. You can work in a hospital, or you can do like outpatient, because if somebody has like a traumatic brain injury, stroke, stuff like that,
teaching them how to talk again.
They have to retrain. So it's understanding those sounds, or even understanding why kids switch syllables around, stuff like that, and helping them with reading comprehension skills. So I really wanted to do that. So I'm like, well, I could work anywhere. That's lit. Yeah. And then life has something else for me. So I ended up, funny thing, I ended up giving the application in at the wrong time for grad school. So I gave my graduation application on my grad school deadline, and my grad school application on my graduation deadline.
Oh, so you got it mixed up.
Had it all mixed up.
You got it mixed up.
Because we were going to conference tournament. So I was just like,
you're not paying attention.
Not paying no attention. I came back and I'm like, damn, I missed a deadline, and that's crazy. Yeah. So pivot, I said, all right, what could I do that would mirror what I want to do with speech, so that when I'm finished, I can go right back. And it was education, because a lot of the core subjects are very similar. So I did that. But you know how I got that?
How?
I was networking, man. I was
while you were in college?
Hell yeah. Everybody knew Sheeta 3. And they didn't even know me as Sheeta 3. They knew me as Shishi back in the day.
So you were networking because, like, you knew, like, off the court, like, I need to have stuff right.
Hell yeah. If they needed anything with women's basketball, hey, pick me, coach. community stuff.
But
I
you
was
know
always
what's crazy
outside.
though? Like a lot of college students, like, and I see it, like, while I was in college, like, a lot of people who play college sports, they just stick to the sport and that's it. Like, they not in
the biggest mistake.
extracurricular activities. They not doing too much because, like, they just locked in with the sport.
That's
like,
the biggest mistake they could ever make. Because you know what? When it comes to athletics, like, people don't realize we love athletes. Because a lot of athletes, they come from disenfranchised neighborhoods. This is their way out.
Yeah.
And everybody loves a feel-good story. Let's be real. You see that movie Rudy with the Notre Dame stories? Oh,
I didn't even watch that yet.
Jesus
Yeah, I didn't even
Christ.
watch that yet. I didn't even watch that yet. It's on Netflix, right?
It's out there. It's
Yeah.
old. You need to watch that. It's an old football movie. But every single Coach Carter.
Yeah. Yeah,
Remember
Coach,
the
I was just
Titans.
watching that the other day. Yeah.
Everybody loves that
Yeah.
that underdog. So
Yeah.
when it comes to athletics, like, everybody wants to help you, but they have to know that you need help and they need to know you.
Yeah.
And then not only they need to know you, they need to like you. So if you playing ball, you doing your thing on the court, and you're a good person, that's how I got my grad school scholarship. I didn't even have an interview. It wasn't real.
It was just based off.
It was
of
an
what you
interview.
knew.
It was an interview.
It was just based off of what you know.
What?
Yeah.
I literally went to the office and they said, I went to the office to speak to the dean. He said, you need to do this education. I didn't even know how to fill out the application for classes, nothing.
Wow.
I didn't know how to do none of that.
Yeah.
And I still don't, which is horrible. But don't judge me. Go to him. He's like, you know what? He said, you didn't do the financial aid yet? I said, financial aid? I said, Dean, I ain't. They don't let athletes take care of these things.
Yeah.
Half the football team would never play.
Yeah.
He laughs. He's like, all right, go to financial aid office. You know who knows me in the financial aid office? The head person in the financial aid. She's my bestie.
Wow.
Loves me. To this day, I could go there and be like, hey, G-Dan, what's going on, girl? Go in there. She's like, you didn't do your stuff yet? She said, you know who needs a GA? Let me call Dr. Clark right now. Gets on the phone, Dr. Clark. Is Shantae graduating? She's like, yep, she's done this year. I got you a girl. She's coming over there right now. Within 2 days, I had a full grad school paid for.
Wow.
Networking. If they didn't like me, they wouldn't have did that. They didn't have to.
Yeah. So I would ask you, what's 3 tips that you would give to college athletes right now?
Bro. You ready?
I'm ready.
This thing on? Yeah. All right. So
you could put it up to.
I told you I'm intimidating to these mics sometimes. But I got it. We here. So what I would say, 3 tips for college athletes. The first tip, 1, network. Don't sit there and just go to college, play ball, and think, oh, well, I'm a dope ball player. That's it.
Yeah.
Nah, people need to know you outside of your basketball skill. Who are you as a person? Don't ignore the fact that basketball will eventually end. And it's not what you know, but who you know will get you ahead.
That's a fact.
The second thing I would say is if you are traveling as a college athlete and you're traveling commercially, because not every school get private jets, you need to make sure that you connecting your flights to your own frequent flyer account, because them colleges is paying for your flights.
Yeah.
But that flight belongs to you.
And you start building them points.
You start building them free points. You don't even have to have a credit card to do that.
Yep.
Just the account.
Yeah, and that's free. That's free.
Listen, that's how I got started. That's how I got started.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
That's how I got started. And
the
the third thing I would say is don't underestimate your ability. A lot of times we think we are our sport.
It's a fact.
Like, once you're a ball player, you just know you're more than a ball player, right? And then in that case, you know that term, more than an athlete.
Yeah.
That they have, but you are that. And a lot of times, and I have friends who played in the league, played in the NFL, MLB, NBA, and if they don't make it to the height that they think that they should have, they're lost. But you're more than just a football player. Yeah. You're more than a basketball player. You have transferable skills that you don't even realize that you have yet.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So tap into that inner beast that got you good at that sport. That's my 3 tips right there.
Nah, those are great. Those all make sense. And just to touch on the last one, like me growing up playing basketball, like you said, like I didn't know until I got to college how like helpful basketball was to who I am. Even like in a business space, like I know how to communicate. I know how to like be a part of like a team. Like 2, 1, depending on what team I was on.
Gotcha.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But like guard for the most part. But yeah, like I know how to be with a team. I know how to just like communicate. Just because I had a team, like I never grew up feeling like I didn't have people, because like I had teammates. I understood like this simple concept: if one person mess up, everybody mess up. Everybody mess up. So it's like the same with my organization. If one person not on point, we all look bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like little things like that is like, that's what's being instilled in you while you have good coaches and just also just character, right? Like my coaches are really firm on like being a good person, like having good character, good morale off the court. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so, but enough of the basketball though. So stop playing. Stop playing. You playing around too much. Like, you want to do something, you want to make the money, you want to build wealth because it look cool, but you're not serious because you know what I got, and I got something for you. The Blueprint for Investing, Volume 1, created by me, Aaliyah Duah. It gives you a step-by-step guide on how to get started investing in the stock market. See, if you want to really build wealth, you got to put your money into things that's going to work for you, right? Because the job money cool, but you want to make the money work too, right? So it's going to give you a step-by-step guide, investing tools, the apps to use, everything. And the best part is, I know you don't like to read, so I only made it 28 pages. That's it, right? 28 pages, and you getting yourself some wealth of knowledge. So make sure y'all tune in, get your copy today, and go to financialrevolutionn.com. Let's get it, y'all. Back to the episode. So now you go to grad school, right? And you were you working at this time, or you was just in grad school?
I'm hella Jamaican. I had 3 jobs, yo.
What were you doing?
So I had my grad school job. I had to work throughout the day. So that was like from like 9 to 2, 10 to 2. I had a nighttime job. It was 9 to 9 or 11 to 9. It was overnight. I honestly was like a low-key, like a CNA. It was a home health aide. But they paid good. It was like $8, $10 an hour for a night shift, whatever. And then I had a weekend job. I used to work at this telecom company selling like cable. Don't ask.
All 3
Don't
different
ask.
things.
Don't ask.
Those are all 3 different
Tell you I'm hella
things.
Jamaican. You think I'm joking?
3 different
I was on the
things.
phones, yo.
Wow.
I was on the phones every weekend for 8 hours.
Wow. And then like all of this was working towards you actually getting your degree to actually be able to work in schools.
Nah, I just needed money, bro.
So at what point
needed money.
At what point did you go to the school, start working in the school system?
Yo, I worked in the school when I tell you it's not what you know, it's who you know. I became a teacher on accident. I got the degree and then I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And I sold life insurance for 2 years after I graduated.
Yes. I heard about. I was doing some research. I saw that too. Their life insurance.
Yeah, I sold life insurance 2 years right after I graduated. I moved back to New York, so I was living in West Virginia for like 8 years now. I'm loving the country, right? I'm loving the not, aggressive driving, and and I was good. I came back. I worked insurance. I did door-to-door sales and insurance, like door knocking, like, hey, yeah, we have, like door knocking. And that's when I realized, oh, Sheeta, you got something in you. Like, it's not regular. I did it for 2 years.
All right. So since we're on a life insurance topic, right?
Like, it's going there.
Yeah. I want to get straight into that, right? I'm 21. I just turned 21. Like, when was that? Last week? Like,
oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah, November 15th. Yeah. And now that I'm 21, I want to get my own life insurance policy. I just, like, maybe 2 months ago, opened up my own IRA account.
Good.
Right? Because now it's like, as an entrepreneur, I got to retire myself. So now I'm like, let me start young.
You got to take care of yourself.
So now, life insurance, I hear that I get the life insurance policy. A couple of years from now, if I need money, I could borrow against it. Like, break it down. Like, why is life insurance important in our community?
So first of all, life insurance is important because it passes tax-free benefits to your family. Like, let's be honest. The one thing that's certain about life is it's going to end. And we don't like to talk about it. But then we never address it. And then you have people passing and now you got a fish fry, GoFundMe, and all kind of stuff to take care of something that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't mean to sound morbid about it, but the more you make it a normal conversation, the more not stigmatized the conversation becomes.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that life insurance, just like everything else, is a tool. For me, basketball was a tool. Life insurance is a tool. You can use it as a bank. You can use it to help grow wealth in your family like the Rockefellers do, right? So when it comes to life insurance, certain things that when somebody passes, that whole death benefit is tax-free.
So you don't have to pay no taxes on that
No.
money?
So imagine that, somebody's parent had $1 million life insurance policy. God forbid something happened to them prematurely. They passed on $1 million to their family.
Like that whole $1 million.
The whole $1 million. Now, there is definitely ways that person can prevent the whole amount. Like the person who has the policy can prevent the whole amount from going straight to one person because people will blow cash.
Yeah.
They can actually determine. There's a way that you can determine how your death benefit is paid out.
So so your life insurance policy would be a part of your will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or estate. Or
you can put it. You can put it in your will, but it's not necessarily a part of your will. Like it's your will. We're gonna have a lot of conversations today. All right. So your will is essentially just directions for when you're not here. Like what did I want this to happen?
Okay.
I got these cameras. I want Isaiah to have my cameras.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just direction for when you're not here. But the life insurance now, depending on what kind of policy you have, that can dictate what you're gonna be doing.
Okay.
There's 2 types overall. You have term and you have whole life. All right. Now, term, I like to compare it like renting an apartment. You enjoy the luxuries of the apartment while you're there, right?
But it's not forever.
But it's not. Your landlord could kick you out and raise the rent on you.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can't be like, yo, landlord, I've been paying rent for like 15 years. Let me get some equity out of there.
It's like it's clipped because you don't really own. You
don't own it.
Okay.
Right? And it also just lasts a time. So just like your lease lasts 2-5 years, term policies last 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And when they're done, guess what happens? If you're 10, 15, 20, 30 years older, it's going to be more expensive if you had to get a new one.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a term policy. There are multiple types of term policies, but that's the overall general definition of a term policy. Now, a whole life policy, you can compare that to like owning a house. When somebody owns a house, you can pay off a house.
Yeah.
You can borrow equity from your house. You have cash. You have things that you have with a house that you don't have with an apartment.
Exactly. Because you don't own the apartment.
Because you don't own it. It is more expensive though.
So in what cases would somebody get a term life policy? If a term life is not for my whole entire life and it's shorter and it doesn't seem ideal,
that's a valid question.
Why would I get that? I'm
about to give you the most valid answer. Most people, my recommendation is if somebody gets a term policy, is because you have young children. Because you can get more, you can get more insurance for less. So I can get $1 million for maybe $80 for 30 years. Now, if I have a child now, in 30 years, my kid is still technically depending on me. So God forbid I was to pass away when they're still depending on me. There's an extra in my insurance. I have an extra $1 million and I'm not paying a whole bunch of money for that.
Okay. So I guess my question to that would be, if I'm 21 right now.
Yes.
Not having no kids. But let's say I was to have a kid.
Yep.
It would make sense for me to get term right now. Because
if you can afford it. So a lot of people, they jump to whole life, but not everybody can afford $1 million whole life policy.
But I was always under the assumption, and I haven't done too much research, but I have been looking into it. To get a whole life policy, it wouldn't be too pricey for me because I'm not like a at risk type of person.
Well, you're not at risk and you're super young.
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying it depends on your budget.
So ideally, like how much would it cost me to get life insurance?
It depends.
But like if you did throw out an estimate, would it be
all right? So I'll tell you
a whole life versus a term.
Depends on the type of policy. So it depends on what you want out of the policy as well. Do you want dividends? Are you getting an IUL? It depends on the type of policy that you're getting and what you want that policy to do. Because remember, it's a tool.
Okay.
So I can go to the store and buy a hammer. I could buy a cheap hammer. I could buy a more luxurious hammer. The hammer's still gonna smash.
Yeah.
But what's the experience while you're smashing?
Okay.
That sounds wild, right?
Yeah. That sounded crazy. That sounded crazy.
I teach middle school kids.
That sounded crazy. But okay. So I guess if I wanted like whole life insurance and I wanted, I guess, dividends because I wanted to grow because I have time. If I want,
it could cost you $10,000 a year.
$10,000 a year, and I'm paying monthly.
Nah, I said 10,000. No. When you get your life insurance, to be honest, my tip for anybody, if you're getting a life insurance policy, pay annually. Pay once a year. You pay less fees, and your cash flow grows faster.
So I gotta come out of pocket 10 bands.
That's why I said it depends on your budget. You see?
That's beastie.
It could be 10,000 a year. I'm not saying that. I don't remember. Yeah. I could be honest. The last person I did a policy for was $300,000. He was 24. If I remember, I think his amount was like 180. That's not bad. No.
And
like,
that's a month.
Yeah, it was per month. He ended up doing the yearly option, which was great for him as well. I want to say it was like $220 a month, something like that.
Them commercials be lying because I've been seeing commercials.
They're talking
that be like
about
99 cents.
they're talking about term policies. That's why.
Okay.
They're not lying. They're just misleading.
Yeah, like I be having the commercials. Get life insurance today for 99 cents.
They're talking about
$1.99.
term policy. You know why? Because there's no cash flow building up in that.
Because
95% of term policies do not pay out because people it either lapses, or you outlive it.
Yeah, I was speaking to this lady. I met this lady. Were you at InvestFest?
Yes, I was.
Oh wow, we didn't even see each other, but yeah.
I didn't see a lot of people at InvestFest.
But yeah, so I ran into this lady at InvestFest and we were talking. She was a little older. She maybe in her like 60s or 65. Like she just hit the senior citizen age. And she's seasoned. Yeah,
calling her those senior citizen. That's kind of crazy.
No,
I got your back. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, but that's
old lady,
that's what she referred to me as.
Old lady, I got your back.
But basically she was telling me, she was like, get life insurance, but like if it's anything I want to tell you, like don't get term life insurance. She was saying that she got term life insurance and
she didn't realize that her policy lapsed,
expired. And she
had nothing.
She didn't get none of that money, and she was pissed because she was like, "I've been paying all this money, all these months, all these years, like," and she got nothing, and that scarred me. I'm gonna be honest.
So that's why you have to know what you have. A lot of people don't know what they have.
What do you mean by like that? Like their policy?
They buy a policy. They say they have insurance, and that's what they got. I go, "What you got insurance? I got insurance," and then they don't want to talk about it again. You know why? Because I got insurance.
But I don't know. I just feel like, and I just me speaking, like I feel like it's a little questionable that they require us to have car insurance, but it's not mandatory for us to have life insurance.
So I'm gonna keep
and it's just like there's a 100% chance that people are gonna die, but there's not a 100% chance that people are gonna get into car accidents.
So I'm not defending the powers that be. However, a car insurance protects the banks. It protects liability for institutions. Life insurance protects who?
Us as a person.
You as a person. Yeah. They don't care about you.
Yeah. And
let's keep it a buck.
And I was watching
if God forbid something happened and somebody passes,
that don't got nothing to do with it.
That had nothing.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
They gonna go after your loved ones if you have financial debt tied to anything else. More than likely you have mortgage insurance. So the things that are tied financially to things are already covered. Yeah. But they wanted you to protect. You gotta have home insurance, or unless your home.
Yeah, you have insurance on all assets.
Everything
else,
kind
of like things that's
tied exactly. But for you, it's your choice. If you choose not to protect your life, that's your business. Yeah. And God forbid something happen, you think somebody gonna take a loan out to go take care of your No.
And I feel like that's really like one of the reasons that I feel like I need life insurance, for the simple fact that I always feel like the things that aren't like easy to understand, the things that aren't like easily given to us, those are usually the things that we really need and that the wealthy people are doing. Like something as simple as like us not learning about politics, financial literacy, nutrition, and all those things in school. Those are all the core things that we need. Yeah. And like I just kind of hit an epiphany in life where I was just like, let me focus on all the stuff that I don't learn, all the stuff that like isn't given to me, or I'm not required to have, because that's the stuff that like the wealthy really up there doing. You know what I'm saying? Fact. So yeah, I don't know, like I just feel like sometimes it's all a scam. Like it's
not like, the scam like, term though.
Like it's just real questionable. But so just to close the life insurance thing, right? So
now we gotta keep this one open.
Okay, yeah, we gonna keep it open. But just to ask one more question about it. Because this is catered towards young people. For young people, what are some resources or ways that we can look into life insurance, like to get more educated? Like, where do we start, right?
So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. When I first started selling life insurance, I didn't know nothing about it. I took the class. I learned from the class, and then I went ahead and I got my license. I started working, and then I started doing product research. So when you work for a company, I was a captive agent, meaning I could only sell the products that the company I worked for had, right? I was captive. So when you work captively, they teach you what products they have. But I'm like, I know this ain't all that's out there. Yeah. Because when we were learning, they taught us about all these other policies, and y'all not talking about that. So I started going to do product research. So I actually started booking appointments with other insurance companies to see how they sold me. One, I was picking up sales tips.
Yeah.
And two, I was trying to figure out what they were approaching me with. And once they realized that I was an agent too, the conversation got a little bit deeper. They was like, yo, you work in insurance. There's no person calls me and asks me these questions. And that's how I actually got better at learning. So to be honest, if somebody really wanted to learn, I would say go get your license.
Life insurance license?
Yeah.
What do you have to do to get that? Like,
Take a test.
oh, okay.
You can study. You can hit me up. I send you some resources.
Okay.
I would say go do that because that's why I understood it because I was in it. And then once you're in it, you start understanding the inner workings of it. And then now I realize how they use it as a tool. Yeah. And why it's used as a tool. And now I'm like, oh, so now I start asking my family like, yo, what's an insurance? And now it's uncomfortable at Christmas.
Yeah. I think like right now I have life insurance under my mom. So that's why I haven't been like pressed. But I don't think it's as like powerful if I was to get like my own.
You should.
Yeah.
You know why?
I'm
because the best time to get life insurance is when you're happy and healthy.
Yeah.
And once you get started, especially if you get a whole life policy, like I said, you don't have kids. But what people, and this is, I meant to just reiterate this. The reason why I said that people get term policies because once you have a child, you have extra responsibility. And God forbid something were to happen to a parent, nobody's going to take care of their child the way they do. They're not going to work three jobs to take care of your child. So while that child is there, yeah, you could get the extra $60 a month to just get a buffer, just in case, God forbid, something even happens to your spouse. I had a client, the husband died. The kids are 7.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So to cover that income for their life, but it doesn't break your budget. Yeah. Now, I'm not advocating for term.
Yeah.
But if you have young children, it just makes sense.
So in that husband situation, so if I'm married, you get life insurance for as a couple or like you still have individual?
No, it's separate.
Oh, okay.
You'll technically be on the same paperwork, but you have a separate policy. It's not like, okay, well, we both have to pass for this to kick in. No.
So it's $1 million each.
It's separate, yeah.
Makes sense.
You can do $500,000. It's however whatever's in your budget, because the last thing you want is your policy to lapse.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I want $1 million. I'm like, it costs $5,000 a month. Well, I'm like, yeah, what can you afford to keep? And because that's something you don't want to lapse.
Can you, let's say my income increases.
You just buy new.
Oh, okay.
You can't add on because you're not the age anymore. If you were 21 when you got it, you can't say, oh, I want to add on to my 21-year-old policy and you're 25.
Okay. If I had whole life insurance and I've been building this whole life insurance at a certain price, I can't like.
No, you got it at that time, at that price. That's like saying, oh, you know what? I bought this stock at $100 3 years ago, but right now it's $150. Because I got money now, I want to go back and catch it at that same price. It don't work like that.
I get that, but it's just like, what happens to my whole policy that I just built? Oh, okay, that's what I was asking.
It don't disappear.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, does my money just...
Nah, it's still building.
Oh, okay.
You just got to get new.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
They're going to check you out again.
That makes sense. And, I was watching this video. I'm not sure if you saw it. It was by Ross Mack. You know Ross Mack? He has a show,
Yeah.
He was on Earn Your Leisure one day, and he said the number one way to stop deaths in our community is through life insurance.
Hell yeah. I 1,000%.
That made so much sense to me. So much sense to me.
1,000% agree.
So much sense to me. So can you just like break that down? Like,
I believe that as well because there's so much violence in our community, especially when it comes to, between violence between ourselves and violence between authorities, right? If insurance companies had to pay out for all the nonsense that they do,
what you were saying, yeah.
they're gonna be like, yo, lobbyists gonna start speaking out. To be honest, I need you to chill. Like
take the guns out the neighborhood.
America's a capitalistic country. It's all about the money. So let's be honest. If they're bleeding because they have to pay out all of this for XYZ, but I will say this, disclaimer, okay? Insurance companies have a 2-year contestability period on policies.
What does that mean? That
means that if you committing a crime within 2 years of that policy, they could be like, yeah, here's your premiums back.
So I mean,
you got 2 years to keep it clean. Put it like that with anything. Insurance companies have 2 years to figure out if you are who you say you are, and they have 2 years. After that 2 years, they locked in. Well, so if you do flu nonsense, flubbery, after the 2 years, they have to pay out. But within 0 to 2 years, they have 2 years to say, okay, this person's health is intact, everything they said on the application is true. It's up to them. You You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and
Right.
your
Had to put that out there.
and your insurance policy isn't just for when you die. Is it also for like if I get sick, if I have like
Depends on the kind of policy you have.
Oh, okay.
You have disability. You can have you have add-ons to it. So it depends on which company you buy from, because some companies don't offer it.
This is literally like car insurance. Like I just went through all this process, but for car insurance, and I learned so much, like just like about insurance, and like you got to get a certain type of policy,
Yes.
and then it's different packages,
Yes.
and one package got 10K warranty, 50K warranty, 100K liability, like, and I'm just like, wow, like.
And trust me, if you got a brand new car, you want to have both comprehensive and collision.
I think I got that.
You want to, and you want to make sure that you have. They made me do it because I have a lease, but I have underinsured motorists. So I was in a car accident in 2021 in Florida. Jesus mercy. And the person, they just found their insurance like 3 months ago.
Wow.
But I had back injuries, car was total, all kind of things.
Wow.
And my insurance company, I was covered under my underinsured motorist.
Wow. That's
because you never know somebody else's situation, and the accident wasn't my fault. He was speeding. He totaled my car at 60 miles. It was a 4-car collision.
Wow.
My car was smashed like the trunk was in the back seat.
That's crazy.
Not my fault at all.
That's crazy.
My insurance went up $15 a month.
I don't like that.
Aggravating.
I'm gonna be honest.
I was sitting nice and
I don't
pretty.
like that.
Honestly, I think it was more than 15 because I was sitting nice and pretty at 147, at 183. Very annoying.
Like it makes sense, but I don't like it.
It don't make sense.
I guess the reason why a little bit of it makes sense is more so on the fact that like, okay, you got into an accident regardless, and I had to pay you something, so now you're at risk. If that's how they look at it, I feel like.
I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. It don't make, if it's your fault, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. If it's not your fault, because it don't matter. If your car was on the street, parked, you're not in the car, you're inside sleeping. That pisses
me off,
and somebody knocks your car, now your insurance goes up.
Yeah,
the moment you make a claim on this insurance that you're paying for to avoid risk and exposure, the insurance goes up. It doesn't make sense to me.
You wouldn't
if it was my fault, if I was out here speeding through like these people do on the Belt Parkway all the time, absolutely. My insurance go up $100.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe what they was trying to charge me for insurance.
You young and you're joining out here?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't
400.
believe
7? 9. I don't do New York insurance. I'm outside of Jersey. I don't play with New York. I don't.
I saw $6,000
for 6 months.
$6,000, and I had to pay that up front.
Oh yeah, that's a good time.
$1,100 a month.
Oh.
And these are like different.
This thing on? That's absolutely insane.
Like these are different like companies. I was just like, yeah. I'm not gonna say what I did on.
You gonna walk? I would just walk.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't like. I was like,
if they add you,
same. I tried to get added to my dad's insurance. I think that added like a extra. They were still charging like me like $900.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
It didn't make a difference. And they were saying like the biggest thing is that I'm young. My age, and this would be like my first.
So age helps you with life insurance. Age kills you with car insurance.
That's wow. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, that was just a learning lesson for me though. But it was cool. I figured it out. So, but yeah. But now moving on, right? Because we talked about insurance for a minute, but that was really super helpful. You broke a lot of things down to me, and again, you said in terms of research, if you like the best research you could do is getting a license.
It's cheap. It's not that expensive to get a license.
What's cheap?
It's less than $200.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's less than getting a real estate license.
Yeah. The test itself. I know in Jersey the test itself is like $40.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. And the studying isn't too crazy.
I got when I first got my license years ago, we had like a week-long class, but I was working for a company, so they made us do it. And then after the 5 days, I took the test and passed it.
And it's a lot of companies that will pay for you to get the license.
Yeah.
And then now you have a job too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that.
Just don't be a captive agent.
But what's a captive?
Captive mean that you can only work with them. We want flexible. We want to work with everybody, so we can offer our people the best products.
Yeah. So, in terms of the knocking on the doors thing, you were physically like knocking.
Yeah, I was
on
in the streets. This is 2015, 16. I was in the streets.
So.
I was outside.
So what happens now? Because I feel like with life insurance policies,
you can do Zoom. It's easy now. It's mad easy
So
now.
what about
I was
like,
in the
Primerica
Bronx
and stuff like that?
Oh, don't get me started on Primerica.
Oh, sorry.
You want me to get started? I go in. All right, so I go in. So I don't even care because they always they find me. Okay, if you have a store and you only sell hats, aren't and you only sell like baseball like dad hats, aren't you gonna downplay every other hat?
I guess.
Are you gonna big up what you have? So somebody's like, oh, but I like, I like the new era hats. But all you said is sell his dad hats. You're gonna be like, but you know what's best about this dad hat? You're gonna have all the best things to say about this dad hat.
Yeah.
Because all you sell.
Yeah. So Primerica is very limited with the retail.
They only really sell term.
So
And they're in that motto. Sorry to cut you off. They're in that motto where you buy term, invest the difference. I don't truly believe in that, and that's the only thing they have.
So how have they survived for so
Bruh,
long? Because they've been
it's
around
a cult.
for years.
It's a cult.
I don't know. I have a
It's
surviving
a cult.
I have a surviving Primerica story.
It's a cult. You work with them?
No.
It's a cult.
No, they try to recruit me.
It's a cult.
One day. What's good, y'all? Are y'all having a hard time starting conversations in large rooms? Do you need to find more effective ways to draw attention to yourself without wearing a fancy outfit? I figured out a hack. You need some Financial Revolution merch. Everything is a staple piece that represents black wealth. You are what you wear, so make sure you join the rest of the billionaires and get some FR merch. We have hoodies, sweatsuits, t-shirts, and much more. Make sure you visit www.financialrevolutionn.com and use code podcast for a special 10% off. Again, go to www.financialrevolutionn.com and use code podcast for a special 10% off. Let's get it, y'all. I'm in college. I'm in college. And like, I don't know, I sign up for all types of stuff. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just always open to opportunities. Like, I just sign up for stuff.
Figure it out.
So in my phone on a calendar, I had something that said interview, but it had no like company name. It had no like
vague
anything. It just said interview, and like clearly I put it there, but I forgot. So I guess like 2 days before, somebody calls me, was like, hey, are you still coming in for the interview? Whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And I was so embarrassed to ask, like, oh,
what is it?
Because what if it was something like really,
important.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I was like, I look bad because I forgot, So I had to just take the L on that. So I'm like, okay, send me the address, blah, blah, blah. I look up the address. It's next to like a food stand. That was the first like little questionable thing. And mind you, at this time, I didn't have a car. So I live, like I told you, I live in like the Flatbush area. Now I had to go all the way to Sheepshead Bay. This is where the location was. So I'm on a bus now. I'm taking a bus and a train to get there. So now I get there. I'm calling a guy. I'm like, I don't really see it. Like, the address is giving me a food stand. He was like, oh, you got to come up the stairs of this building or whatever. So there's no signs on the door, no nothing. And as I'm telling the story, I shouldn't have went inside. As I'm telling the story. So I go upstairs. And now I see, like, office settings. But it's, like, not, like, look a little sketchy. But nothing says Primerica yet. Nothing. But I see people in there, like, sitting down, like they about to take an interview. I always know when I don't belong somewhere by the way the people look.
I'm crying.
And I hate to judge people. But, like, sometimes you know when you don't belong certain places.
I'm
like,
crying.
you'll see, like,
I don't know.
This don't look like somebody I would be with, hanging out with, or, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking. Everybody in there kind of look desperate for jobs.
I'm weak.
Like, I'm just being honest speaking. I'm like,
Not desperado,
and I'm there dressed professionally. I'm thinking, like, I don't know what this interview is. So I'm like, let me come looking
clean.
good. Like, got my dad's stuff on. You know what I'm saying? Right? I come looking good. So now I meet the guy. He's like, 1 second, just have a seat, fill out this form. I look on a form. It says Primerica. Automatically, I text my friend, like, I got to get out of here. They're from Primerica. They got me. It's Primerica. And I had a whole escape plan. And I had to tell a guy, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not interested. No, thank you. And you know how they get. They like, oh, well, is there any...
I'm telling you.
Is there anything that blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, no, I'm good.
To be honest, I would have, if I was you, I would have sat for their sales strategy. Yo, their marketing... out of this world. Like, I've watched one of their presentations, and if I didn't know insurance, I would have got.
I just felt, it just didn't feel comfortable in there.
I'm gonna tell you right now. So Primerica agents,
like if you saw the space,
I seen their office.
like
It's literally like I used to go in homes, And they would bring me out because I'm real big on educating. Like I don't sell people anything. I educate you on what it is, and then you tell me if you need it, which might not be the best strategy. But I've always been a teacher, so I'm in the house and the lady's like, "Oh, I have insurance. I have insurance." I said, "Do you mind if I see it?" Because I told you, they just say I have insurance. Once they buy it, they know they have it. They don't care no more about if it's what they actually are supposed to have.
Yeah.
Because that agent that sat with you might not have been, ethical. They might have just wanted to get a commission and get out of there. So, I have insurance. I have insurance. So she takes out the insurance policy. Shorty had a 12-year Primerica policy for like, I think it was like 80,000 or something. It was some crazy number. And I'm like, she's like, I'm paying this for years. Yes, I have it. She swore she had cash value. She swore she had all this stuff. She had a term policy. This lady almost cussed me out with love. She was like, she was mad.
Yeah.
She wasn't mad at me, but I'm showing it to her. I'm like, let's read this, because a lot of people get their policy, they put it in the drawer, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, like, come on. So that's my only thing, is that they sell terms, so you can't offer nothing else. And I believe in giving people options. When I talk to my students, I'm like, yo, create options for yourself.
Yep, that's
right?
a fact.
So if you only have one thing, for real, there's no options. Now they have, you can buy primary, you do mutual, all this other stuff, but that's not insurance.
Yeah.
If you only have one insurance product, for real,
yeah, it's not insurance, because you're not providing your customers with the options.
And then they don't, because they don't believe in whole life.
Yeah.
So they don't sell it, they don't offer it. But primary, it's low key a cult though, low key. No offense to y'all, but it's a cult. There's other companies out there that's cultish. They built cult behavior in there. It's good for morale. It's still a cult though.
Yeah, they try to get me, and they try to get me again.
They gonna attack this.
Yeah, they try to get me a lot.
I made one insurance post. I have 60 something primary people in there. In my DMs, like, what are you talking about? That's not a real insurance policy. I said, and you know what I did? I said, bro, I just took the test. This question is on the test. What test did you take?
I don't know. I don't want to knock them, but
it's a cult. I don't care. I'll take your bullet. I said it. She ain't say nothing. Okay?
Y'all check the camera. All right. Yeah. But yeah, just being there, I was just like, nah. Because, like, I don't know, like, something as simple as, like, my father's store, right? It's set up a certain way.
You're looking for professionalism.
Exactly.
And they didn't have it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, why would I spend my money with you if, like, these are the type of service, like, not even your services, but this is the environment that, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, you're recruiting these people. How these people are supposed to represent your organization? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, sometimes, like, before I do anything, I'm looking at, like, how is it, like, who's operating this? Like, how is this working? Like, it just, I did not feel comfortable. I couldn't stay for no sales pitch. Like, I did not feel comfortable, because I don't knock things. Like, I really, like, sometimes people could tell you, like, oh, this is bad, but you can try it for yourself and really like it for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't knock things, but just that environment, I was like, I'm good. I'm not going back.
It wasn't for you.
You're not getting me again. You feel me? But yeah, so just to move on, right? So you're doing a life insurance, right? That was the first phase of your life.
Yep.
Right? And now you're a math teacher.
So the transition from life insurance to being a teacher was, and I didn't realize this, I was speaking to, now he's a mentor of mine, Chef Cash out of Atlanta. He owns, I forgot the name of the restaurant, but he owns a couple restaurants out there. My father got sick. He got diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Oh.
And I couldn't talk about death. I just couldn't. Like, I tried to get back in the zone, because you got to be, like, mentally in the zone. And I was for 19 months on it. And I tried to get back, and I couldn't really do it. And to be honest, he made me see, like, sometimes things happen. You think it's happening to you, it's happening for you. Your dad's fine now, right? I was like, yeah. He said, but they had to get you out of there, because you were a captive agent to that area. And if you would have stayed there and grow, you'd been stuck.
Yeah, they're doing that.
And he said, you might be bigger than that. And I was like, I ain't think about it like that. I was mad at my dad. Like, Dad, who told you to get sick? I was killing insurance stuff. But that's the most amount of money I ever made in a short amount of time when I was doing insurance. And I learned sales, and I learned a lot about myself.
So you got comfortable.
So I was good. And once I left that job, I didn't work for like 4 months. I didn't have to. I had a nice little nest egg. I was comfortable. And my mom, my godmother, her sorority sister had hit her up and was like, dang, one of my teachers just retired. I need a teacher. And she goes, you know what? I think my goddaughter got her license. So she calls me up, Sheeta, what are you doing? I'm like, Auntie, I'm at the gym. She's like, you have your license? I said, in what? Like, so you teach, right? I was like, yeah, I got my degree. She said, go to Harlem. I'm like, what? She literally sends me there. I meet the principal. She's like, all right, I like you. I have never really done an interview.
Me neither. See, we have a lot in
It's
common.
all about who you know.
Yeah, all my jobs been, or just opportunities been based off of like
who you know. And I was able to start teaching there. Like, I literally went up there. They went through the plan. I had to start getting I did the process to get my license with the DOE. And I had my degree. I had my master's already. So I had most of the things I need. I was already prepared. And, I mean, it was a little bit of a turmoil working with city systems. You know, they slow. But I was able to get my license. And ever since then, I've been rocking and rolling. And my first, matter of fact, I was working in Harlem. I also got a job at Nike at the same time. I told you I'm hella Jamaican. So I'm working at the school and I'm working in Soho at the same time.
Like after school, you go into Soho?
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm going all the way to Harlem. I'm hopping on a D line straight down to Houston, walking 2 blocks to the store.
Wow.
And then I hop on a 6 train back home.
Wow.
I'm doing that 5 days a week.
Wow.
So I tell you, super Jamaican. I'm like not even fake Jamaican. This is full on. And like I said, I learned a lot about myself with that. Now I'm doing that. One of my coworkers, her mom is also a teacher. Like I told you, I talk. People, you gonna meet me, I'm gonna network with you. We gonna find each other out. I'm talking to her and I'm like, yo, I can't do this commute no more. It's killing me, this, that, and the third. And she's like, I think my school's hiring. I think her school's in Lower Manhattan because that's where she lives. No, her school is 10 minutes from my house.
Wow. Wow.
So she's like, yo, come down for an interview. I take the day off from that school. I go down and do the interview. It wasn't even an interview. They said teach a class. If you ever saw me teach a class, you hire me off the spot. I have so much fun when I'm teaching.
Yeah.
These kids is engaged. I don't have behavior issues for real in my room.
Facts.
And I come down there and the principal's like, yeah, you want to start today?
Wow.
I couldn't start that moment because the interview was in June. She had me, I was hired summer school.
Wow.
I worked right away.
Wow.
And that's how I got back in Brooklyn, and I've been rocking and rolling ever since.
So what do you feel like there's a difference between the school system in Harlem and Brooklyn?
You mean like the kids?
I mean, with like just any difference.
My admin staff was different.
But no like major difference because it's still like New York City school system.
It's still New York City school system. Like everything's slow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess like you being an entrepreneur and a school teacher, how do you find the time to like balance both of those?
That's why I was doing work before I left. I said at 7 o'clock I gotta go.
Wow.
Sometimes I stay at the school late because it's quiet, and I got my system set up. I got extra screens up, my laptop set up. I got my printer. Sometimes I stay back and do classes at the school if I had to do something because it's just quiet.
Yeah.
But when school's over, time to get to work. During the school hours, I try to do as much as my school activities during that time. Sometimes I even employ my students. They want to come hang out with me. Here, yo, grade these right quick. Hit the answer key. Let me know what they doing. Pass me back. Because I know for a fact I'm not working 30 years.
So that leads to my next question, right? So a lot of people, you know, when they become entrepreneurs, they leave their 9-to-5 job or they leave like jobs as becoming a teacher and things like that. Because oftentimes they say teachers aren't appreciated.
Definitely not.
Right? So what makes you still stay?
So I had a come to Jesus moment today where I almost walked out.
Really?
It was bugging.
Really?
These kids are it's weighing sometimes. And I have great days and I have not so great days. And I honestly have said to myself, with anything that I do, because my mom has always instilled in me to create options for myself, I know I have transferable skills. So whether or not I want to be a full-blown entrepreneur or I still want to work a job, everything I do can relate to everything else that I do. And even when I worked at Nike, I could have grew in that store.
Yeah.
I just didn't really want to, right? As a teacher, my skills are transferable. I know teachers all the time that leave and go work corporate and they're loved and they're making bank. Why? Because we have transferable skills. And I always said to myself, if I don't love it no more, if I lose the love for it, I'm going to leave. I'll be done. And I still got love for it. Even just now, I'm leaving out. It's 5:30. One of my students, she always checked to see if I'm in the room. She ain't after school. It's 5:30. She's supposed to be leaving. Miss Henriques, you still there? I'm like, what do you want? Okay, I just came to get my hug and leave. Every day.
Wow.
But this is every day since last year. And it's those relationships I build with my kids that I love. I cherish those. Even when I'm battling them. Even when they cursing me out and I'm like, yo, get the hell out of my room. I don't want to see you for a week. So and I've said that. I've said that. I said that to parents. I don't care.
Yeah.
The kids know. Miss
Yeah.
Henriques gonna say what she feel.
Yeah. So I guess like, what do you feel like is really some of the issues that the kids are facing? Like, I have my
Exposure.
viewpoint. Exposure.
Yeah.
I feel like that, as well as like emotion, like similar to like you said, self-esteem issues. Like,
I don't think they have self-esteem issues.
I feel like some of the kids I work with do.
Well, now my popular, they're very much so full of themselves. Very much so full of themselves. You can't get them out the bathroom.
What grade you work with?
I'm middle school. I'm
Middle
7th and
school,
8th.
okay.
They are very much. There's so much lip gloss. I can see my reflection every day. Every day. I'm glossed out.
Yeah.
It's lip gloss on my work. I'm like, I don't want that. What is that on that paper? Don't give me that. Put the answers on the computer. I'm not touching that paper. What is that?
Yeah.
But it's just lip gloss, Miss Henriques. Why do you have 3 different flavors of lip gloss on a math sheet?
Nah, that's
What's going on?
Well, I mean, I feel like for some of the students I work with, I see the self-esteem issues because a lot of times it's either coming from at home
Very factual.
or even simple as even in a friend group. Maybe one friend has like a stuttering problem, so now or one friend
They bullies.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's sad because it's the culture of kids to
but
bully.
they take it personal.
They
though.
OD.
Yeah.
I actually had an incident today. Literally, when I say today was trying, some of my students, I'm like, all right, this kid has you could tell kids who have a good heart, and some kids who just like, all right, yo, they
violate.
They violate.
they
They're
OD.
wild.
They OD.
They're wild. And one of my students, it's going away, but he had wingworm, so that's why he wasn't at school for a couple of days. He came back, and I guess he told one of them, now the whole class know. But now they treating him like a leper. On normal days, they buddy. He's a bro. But now today, they treat him like a leper. And his bestie treat him like a leper.
That's messed up.
So I come in, I'm like, why? I know how y'all sit in my room. I come back in the room, I'm like, why are y'all sitting like that? This bestie, he damn near squished up in the corner trying to be away from him. I'm like, do y'all not know that it's not, he couldn't come to school if it was contagious. Like,
ignorance, yeah.
It's covered. He's not touching it. Like, you cannot get it from him.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to tell you to go touch the table and put your hand in your mouth? No, I wouldn't tell you to do that on a regular day.
Yeah.
But they were acting completely, like, I want to say childish, they are kids, but it was mean.
Yeah.
And the kid
made him feel bad about himself.
he started crying.
Dang.
And I didn't even know that because I had a parent. I told you today was a trying day. I had a parent meeting, so I gave them the work. I did what I had to do, and then they had 10 minutes to finish up. So I was out the room for that. And I had to talk to them. I'm like, yo, that's your bro, though.
Yeah.
On every day is y'all two in the hallway, y'all two. And I before I left, I said, yo, bro, I'm gonna tell you something, and it's for everybody. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So if somebody shows you that when you're having a moment where you're feeling insecure about yourself and they make you feel worse, believe them the first time. Don't give them another time to make you feel like that. And that goes for anything. If somebody show you who they are, believe them the first time. I said, so right now, some of y'all are not being good friends.
Yeah.
And I know right now who I can count on and who I can't. They had to come back later, and I had individual conversations. I'm like, yo, what are you, like, what kind of friend are you?
Yeah,
now they all crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? It was an emotional day.
Yeah. But you know, sometimes though, like, they doing that because they think they about to get that attention from joking and stuff like that. But it's not cool. Like, that's your man's. I feel like
That's your bro.
I feel like it's one thing for us to joke within each other.
But if you
it's another
isolating,
thing for like the whole class to like hear the jokes, and you know what I'm saying? Because now you clowning your man's in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's rule number one. Like, you don't do that.
you don't do that.
Like, you don't
I'm
do
like,
that.
bro, what kind of friend is you? I said,
don't
if
do
I
that.
was him, I would never be your friend.
Yeah.
I would. Your number would be blocked.
Yeah.
Because if he was like, yo, chill, don't be laughing at my mans like that, I'd be like, that's your man.
Exactly.
But no, you're not.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Not
But,
valid.
yeah, that's messed up. But like, I've had kids who like, it'll be like, I don't want to speak if nobody else is speaking. I'm going to wear my hood because I don't have a haircut. I'm going to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all these different issues when it's just like, if you were really feeling
What
fulfilled.
population are you with? I'm in middle school.
I do.
High school?
Middle school, but mainly high school.
That's why.
mainly
Middle
high
school, they
school.
don't care.
But I feel like, but it's
They
so
baby
weird
hairs
though.
is dripped all the way down here.
But it's so weird though because I feel like middle school you go through that peak of when you're
they all
finding
look
yourself.
weird in middle school. Everything's awkward.
Yeah, you're finding yourself in middle school, but then high school you go through that phase where now you start to like clothes, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like now you're like competing against other people now, because now it's like maybe I can have a job now, maybe I'm a little older now, you know what I'm saying? So I think like they hit that weird phase.
Super weird.
That weird phase, and I talk to them, and again, like, I don't really have that many problems through the grace of God in a lot of schools. Like I'm not gonna say never, but for the most part, I never had to like get into anything with the students. And I'm not gonna lie, keep it a buck. I tell them about themselves too. Like I tell them straight up. Like,
appreciate the honesty.
I tell them straight up. Like, we not that far in age, so the lingo you think you have, I can use that 10 times worse.
Yo,
like,
there was one day I was in the class and I listened to them. You know, I just found out about that artist Rod Wave, right? I had no idea who that was. None. Don't judge me.
Don't
judge
like Rod Wave.
You don't like Rod?
No.
I just found him. I just
I don't know.
It was a party of the century. so right. So and I learned that guy. Then it was some term they have now. I'm standing on business.
Yeah, standing on business. Yeah.
I was like, what? So I decided, one day we were talking about, I don't remember what the topic was. It was the 7th grade. And I was like, you see this? This is standing on business, right? Whole class bust out laughing. And, sometimes you got to keep it to where, I can understand your lingo and, but you still going to understand what the hell I'm talking about. So then when I was like, all right, yo, if y'all wear uniform 5 days a week, we going to have the party of the century. And they looking at me like, what, Miss Henriques, what you know about that? I said, that's the only line I know. Don't ask me nothing else.
But they like stuff like that, though.
They like that because
you mashing, like,
you have to make it relatable. You have to let them know that you care.
Exactly.
And once they know you care, they'll be able to respond. But I mean, it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
COVID.
Like
all of that isolation. Like when I say I give out hugs on a regular basis, I'm a hygienic person, but I smell extra good every single day. But you smell always so lemony. I love lemons, right? Because it's the emotions, and then it was a lot.
Yeah.
They came back. They didn't even know how to interact with each other. They didn't know how to talk to each other. They poking you real. Like, they don't know what they're doing. And that's what it is with the kids now. But for me, again, going back to your question, once I love it, I love it. Once I stop loving it,
it's your time to go.
It's really time to go. And also, use your job. Like, people leave their job without using all of the tools that you can get out of it. Because when I need to get money, they love I got this. They ask me for pay stubs. I send my pay stubs. They love that. And if I send you more than one, from my business and from my W-2, I look extra valid.
Yeah.
The banks love that. So I'm gonna keep using this tool for as long as I can. And then when it becomes too much, then.
So you don't have like a cutoff period right now. Right now,
mentally, every year is my last year. Every year, I be like, yo, I'm never coming back. I want to see y'all again. Yeah. And then they be like, Miss Henriques, you said that last year. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
So what are some of the ways? Because you also in the financial literacy space. So, are you intentional with your teaching?
Hell yeah.
Like as being a math teacher and combining financial literacy and math.
Hell yeah. My kids are graded by credit score behaviors.
Oh, wow. What you mean by that?
A 350 means you're doing really bad. You're doing horrible. Horrible, okay? Yeah. A 350, I'm like, you got 350. I don't got no 350, Miss Henriques. Yes, you do. You got a 750. Look at you, 750 on time payments. Look at you. You good. Valid. They excited. Miss Henriques, I'm an 800. I'm like, yeah. Come to school late payment, 600. They don't like it. So now that I'm just associating it with their behavior, because they don't know what credit is. They know Credit Karma.
Yeah.
They be like, I'm like, what's about credit? Oh, Credit Karma. That's what they all say. That's all they know. Marketing at its finest, right? But they don't know the credit cards and all that stuff. But I could associate those numbers and your behavior to what it technically will reflect like on your credit report. So now when you get older, you might remember, when they said 400, I didn't like how that felt. When she called me a 500, I didn't like how that felt. Yeah. That's why I didn't like it. They're
going to be calling you. They
got my number.
They're going to be calling you.
They got my number.
Yeah. They're going to be like, Rasheda, I got this.
I got an 800. They follow me on Instagram now.
Oh, see? So they get in the game. They see the game. Yes, they see the game. So now, after school, you have your business, right? You have your business. You have your job, right? So what do you do in your business? Is it just teaching credit or helping people?
So right now, I teach people financial literacy. So I teach about credit. I teach about my favorite thing to teach about is how to travel on points and miles, and how to actually, what credit cards to get. Because people just go apply for stuff. Like they just go in the store and just pick up every sock. Yeah. And I'm like, stop doing that. Yeah. Like, you don't need that right now. If you want the best sock, let's go right here. And I teach people how to do it strategically. Because when you're strategic, you can get more out of it. But when you just come in here, like, I like to associate it with the Terminator. When the Terminator come in here, he's shooting up the whole room. Did he even kill who he came to kill? No, he might not even shot you. But when a sniper come, they sitting there like, all right, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
And they get their target one time. And they get their target. So that's how you want to be when you apply. You want to be strategic. And on top of that, I help people get money for their business because it's very important. If you're starting a business, to not run up your personal credit.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of people, they start their business, they run on their personal credit. They run it utilization through the roof. And now they want money. But guess what? The banks is going to look at you like, well, you over leveraged.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, well, it's the business expense. And they're going to be like, well, why are you running your business on your, and if you're running your business on your personal, why can't you pay off those cards? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people don't realize that businesses run on recurring debt. Not every business pays their whole entire bill off every single month. Yeah. Especially if you're doing like stores, you're constantly buying inventory. You're constantly cycling money. You can't have that sitting on your personal profile.
Yeah.
You got utilization at 90%, your score is going to drop 120 points, and it's never going to see over a 700. So helping people get money for their business early and for their idea early will actually help them be able to jumpstart. Because once you get business funding, it doesn't show in your personal credit profile.
It goes straight to the business.
It's just on the business side.
All right, we about to drop a lot of gems. All right, so one question I have. Do you use Credit Karma? Because I hear a lot of times people are like, stay off of Credit Karma. Credit Karma is bad to check your credit score, this, and that.
So I'll give you 3 things, just to keep it at number 3. I'll give you 3 things about Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a affiliate marketing website.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Meaning they get paid when you apply. Mm-hmm. So they're incentivized to let you think that you're pre-approved. The second thing about Credit Karma is that they give you the Vantage 3.0 model. Mm-hmm. So most banks pull your FICO 8 score. 80% of banks pull your FICO 8. Credit Karma gives you your Vantage score. So even Vantage and FICO, they don't measure the same thing.
Yes.
So if you have a collection on your profile and you pay your collection, Vantage will have your score go up because you paid the collection. FICO will have your score go down because you just paid that collection.
Yeah.
You see how things change? So now you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, Credit Karma said I got a 777. And you go to FICO, you go pull your FICO score, you got a 640. Yeah. Why? Because they don't measure the things the same.
So where do I go check my credit score?
My opinion, I tell people go to Experian.
Okay, Experian.com.
Yeah, get the app. Get the things like $24 to get all 3 because they give you a FICO 8. There's other websites. I like Smart Credit, but I like it because for people who are not used to having their credit and like being good with it, they send you like emails to keep up with your credit personally, like reminding you like, hey, don't make this card go late. Like they send out personalized emails according to your profile. So I like them for that reason. But if somebody's like, well, I want my FICO 8 score and my FICO scores, just go to Experian, get the $24 package or whatever, get all 3, and you can see your profile every single month. You have to pay for it, but that free one you get from Credit Karma is only going to give you your TransUnion Equifax profile, and it's not even up to date.
Okay, so I guess, what about if... So I have like Capital One, American Express. I have a bunch of...
Last thing. Sorry, I said 3 things. Last thing. Just remember the last one. Credit Karma, when you pull your profile on Credit Karma, it gives you a soft inquiry on your profile. So every time you open the app, you get a soft inquiry. Like you're looking into your profile.
But I thought soft inquiries don't really...
It don't affect you, but it's a soft inquiry.
Yeah, still inquiry. Yeah.
Still inquiry.
Yeah. So what if I have Capital One, and you know Capital One has the Capital... Credit-wise. What if I'm checking my credit score in there?
You're only seeing one, though.
Yes. I kind of learned that, again, when I was doing my research, and I was buying my car, and I'm at the dealership, and they asked me, what's my credit score? I'm looking. I think I signed up for Experience, but I'm not going to lie, I paid $24. But it's because I was able to look at my credit for free on another website that was very accurate. It gave me my FICO. But on Credit Karma, my credit score was like a 755, right? And then on the credit-wise, it was a 752. And then when I got to the dealership, I said, bless you.
Thank you.
When I got to the dealership, bless you. When I got to the dealership, my credit score, it ran a 736. So I was like...
Which one did they pull? And which one were you looking at?
I think they pulled Experian?
You have to remember there's 3.
Yeah, I think they pulled Experian because that's the emails.
Credit-wise, only pulls TransUnion. They don't give you 3 scores.
Okay, that's why I was...
So you got to remember, it's 3 different companies in 3 different states with 3 different CEOs, CFOs, everything. So unless you're getting all 3, that's why I'm saying I would just do like the app.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting all 3, you're not going to get the most accurate. And the most accurate score you have is when you get a hard inquiry. Everything else is a close estimate. Now, could you have an 850 on the Experian app and actually have an 850? Yeah, you can. Could you have a 810 and it be a 790? It could happen too. It's not going to be that far off.
Yeah.
But Credit Karma is going to be super off because it's not the same model that they're looking at. Because when they pull that application, next time if you ever get your credit pulled and they approve you or deny you, ask them to see the paper. You could see what the score was, what the score type was, like what model was that? FICO 8, Vantage 3.0.
I think I have that paper.
It's on there.
That's how I saw like my score and all that. Yeah.
Everything. We ignore it. We just, I got denied. You get upset, but you don't realize you just collected mad data.
Yeah.
You know how I started getting good at this? I started helping people with their credit. I'm like, yo, let me see all your denial letters. Start collecting data. Data is king.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Well, I was happy I got approved. I was a little scared. I was scared just for the simple fact that like. The main thing with my credit is that I'm young. That's just really like the main thing. Like
I have daddy put you on a card and you be valid.
I have 100, but I have credit cards on my own now. They're like gonna be like 3 years old now.
That's fine.
But they still count that as young. That's like the only thing. I have 100% payments. My utilization is super low every month. I don't have too much. My debt to income ratio is not high, so it's like it's good. It's just literally that. It's not. I don't have.
That grows with time. You can only you earn age by as you grow, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't close that whatever card you open in the beginning, keep that open.
Yeah, that's one key I did learn. Never close a card. And also me getting a car was also good because it put that car loan.
You got an installment. You got a different type of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. You got a credit card and now you got a car loan. That's good.
So can you explain why things like that are good for your credit? Like getting like installment credit.
So because credit mix is 15% of your score, so it's not good. All right.
Break it down because remember we're talking to kids.
All right, talking to kids. So credit mix is 15% of your overall score. So when you have a credit card, they call that a revolving
credit
account because the amount on that credit card can change month to month.
Yeah.
You could have that card could be $10,000 credit limit, and then you use $2,000 this month, your minimum payment is going to be a certain amount. Yeah. If you use $5,000 this month, your minimum payment is going to be a little bit higher. Yeah. The amount that you pay will change. So that amount revolves.
Yes.
Right? So now that's one type. That's a credit card. Now you have installment accounts. Installment accounts mean that you pay the same amount every single month for a certain amount of time.
Shows consistency.
It shows consistency over time. And that regards to like loans, mortgages, and things like that. So anything that you have to pay $100 every month for the next 6 years, that's an installment. That means that installment will also end. That's why you want to make sure you have an open credit card account because once that installment ends, that age ends too.
Okay, makes sense. But it helps because like now if I want to go get like an apartment or if I want to get an investment property, these are things that they can see like, okay, she was able to pay off her installment credit from before. And
paid installments are great, open or closed. And now you have that history. You got that payment history that's going because payment history is very important. And that takes care of a lot of the weight of the profile. People don't realize that when I helped this gentleman get $150,000 loan, right? It's because we were able to get him about 2 loans on his profile that was $90,000, $100,000. That was not a mortgage. So a mortgage meaning somebody's house. They didn't buy a house. He was able to have a $90,000 and $100,000 loan on his credit profile, and they were paid off. So let's keep it a buck. If I lend you $90,000 and you pay me back on time with no lates. Yeah. If I come back to you like, yo, Lee, let me get $100,000. You're likely to lend it to me.
Yeah, because that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. And if I said 150, you're also likely. You might charge me a little bit more, but you're likely to lend it to me because I show good patterns in history with you. The banks are the same way.
Yeah.
The more you're able to borrow and repay, the more they will lend you, because the banks are in business with lending money. They can't keep it inside.
Yeah.
It has to be out the door.
Yeah. Makes sense. So I guess like I feel like credit in our community is deemed as like a negative thing.
Super negative.
Right.
And the crazy part is, if you don't get a credit card, you don't get utilization. So a lot of people running from credit cards. Oh, why my score won't go over 690? Well, you're missing 160 points because you don't have a credit card.
Exactly.
You don't get you don't get utilization from a loan.
Yeah.
You only get it from a credit card.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to have one.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, why is credit important? Right? Because if it's something that could become bad, or I could have a bad score, why is credit important in the first place?
Because we live in a system where you have it. I'm going to keep it a buck. Not every country has a credit system. Most countries, if like my family from Jamaica, right? Ain't no credit system in Jamaica. If you don't have the cash,
You can't get it.
you can't get it. I know my first test dummy, and I just say test dummy as a language, was one of my friends. She's like a hairstylist. So she never really had a real job for like years. But she make her money. She do hair. She really good at it. Off the books, right? Don't tell her. You tell her all that. But she do her thing. And I was able to build her profile out to like $175,000 in a year and a half. Why? She had good budgeting habits though. She was scared of credit, and I'm like, nah, bro, you wildin'. You gotta get this, and that, third. Helped her out. She was my first person, $175,000.
Wow.
Right? But she never had no real income, but her habits were good.
Yeah.
Credit is all about habits.
Yep.
And the better habits you have, the more money you can get.
Yeah.
And if you can take their money and leverage that to grow something else,
Yeah.
that's better for you, because not every country has it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, some countries don't believe in debt.
Yeah. And you know the crazy thing is, I always tell my students, like, don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to your parents. Don't listen to whatever. Like, the credit card company isn't the problem. It's you. It's the person that's using it. So if your parents are telling you don't get a credit card, they're telling you that because they made some mistakes. It's not the credit bureau. It's not.
Don't got legs.
Exactly. That card can't swipe itself. It can't type in the numbers.
Out here swiping those swipes.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's really based on like you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not disciplined enough, don't use it, but too much. But like, just still get it. You know what I'm saying? And just force yourself to be disciplined, because it's like, you're going to hit a peak. Something that's similar in my situation. Like, if I didn't start building my credit when I was 18, I wouldn't be able to do half of the things I'm doing. I have business credit because I started personal credit when I was 18. I was able to get my car on my own because I started my credit when I was 18. Right? It's a lot of things I was able to do on my own because I started when I was 18. Like my cousin right here, I put him as an authorized user on my credit card, right? When he was 15 years old, because I understood. I'm like, shoot, like understood the power of credit, and I knew like, all right, his mom's wasn't going to do it. I make sure my credit is good. It helps me because now I have an authorized user. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, now when he turns 18, he'll have access to money. He's into production, screenwriting, things like that. He can now go make his own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he has access to the capital. And I think like when we start really like changing our mindset and start looking at things as opportunities, and instead of like, oh, I don't know how to do this, or I can't do that, or you know what I'm saying?
Fear.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it'd be scary. Yeah. Super scary.
But we pick and choose what we scary about.
Very, very factual.
We pick and choose what we scary about. Like I always tell people, like, we have FOMO with the wrong things. I have the fear of missing out on a good investment opportunity.
Trust me, I already felt that.
You feel me? Like, that's my fear. I hate hearing, dang, I could have been a part of that investment wave. I could have been a part of that, right? So, but then people are afraid of, oh, man, I don't got the latest iPhone. I don't got that. Like, we have FOMO for the wrong stuff. Like,
we have it. Every Apple product, and not one piece of Apple stock. I get it, and I don't get it at the same time.
I feel like just do both.
Listen.